Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons show!
You can't air horn yourself.
Sure you can. There's no rules against it. You probably roll a d20 for it.
You there, with the glasses and the flippy hair, would you care to start off some introductions before
I can do either of them.
we do announcements and a recap?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Harmony, who is the Tiefling Wild Magic Sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Zant, who is the Human Fighter Ranger.
And I am Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human pirate rogue. And I thought you were talking about Kay with her flippy hair.
I did too.
Oh, you know, I guess it could have been.
It could have been any of us.
Except for Zach, I suppose. Yeah.
He's got flippy hair. Don't be rude.
Yeah, just a little.
I was just trying to, because last week Nick was like, "It's weird that you."
I remember.
Anyway,
I got what you're going for.
The flippy hair.
I didn't really know what position you're on the screen either, so I couldn't say like you there in the second spot. Or...
Well,
I don't know if I'm in the spectating side either.
It's left to right, Nick, and then Kay, and then me, and then Melissa.
Oh, okay.
So it's correct order.
Anyways, announcements and a recap. We're working on experimenting with cameras again while we're in our remote recording setup. So bear with us if there are any technical hiccups, etc. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, so you can go check those out as they air. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items as well as a custom wild magic table, so be aware of that as you're watching. Any music we use comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech, and the character portraits, which you'll see on the info cards, which are now up to date, right?
Yes.
Yes. The character portraits were drawn by an artist named Carrie Peach, who goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information about everything I just mentioned and more. And you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon if you just can't get enough of us, I guess. Other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show, share with your friends, and come back and watch some more. So, quick recap. The Antiheroes are going after a night hag named Mother Midnight in her lair on Malvold, the 6th layer of the 9 Hells. They've reached Stygia, the 5th layer, where they have 2 tasks they are attempting to complete. The first of which is to annul the hold of the Ice Devil, now Pit Fiend Phasith, and the Lord of the 5th, Levistus, on Mara's grandfather's soul and the souls of the rest of his crew aboard the Sea Devil's Curse. The second task they are working on is to recover the heart of a shattered pit fiend, the frozen heart of a shattered pit fiend, to make good on a promise to their friend Sial. After arriving in Stygia, they leapt into battle with the Prince of Demons himself, Demogorgon, halting his advance at the interplanar city of Tantwin. Afterwards, they were hailed as the heroes of hell and were invited to a party thrown in their honor. And we've been in that party for a little while now. They've been going around to different powerful devilish parties and making deals and striking arrangements. And at the end of last episode, they just concluded a deal with the archdevil Glasya, the Lord of the Sixth, and the daughter of Asmodeus, in which they would slay Levistus, the Lord of the Fifth, and offer his heart to Glasya, as one does in hell. And so that plan was just enacted, just got put into motion, and we pick back up on the scene as the group of you re-enter the vast ballroom in which this event is taking place. I see you guys laughing. Let me get through this.
We're not laughing at you, don't worry.
Okay, well, hopefully not. So just to remind you, there's the massive ice statue of the group of you standing victorious over the body of Demogorgon in the center of the chamber. There are various tables where pit fiends and other ice devils and horn devils and lower devils here and there are mingling, but then there's also a higher table where all of these different archdevils seem to be seated. And then at the very back of the room, there's this raised stage platform with an ornate throne made of gold and rubies and other precious materials, upon which sits the King of Hell himself, Asmodeus, presiding over the party. And so you re-enter this room. What would the group of you like to do?
And Ethan's a funny guy. We were laughing at each other, by the way, not you.
Yes, we were making each other laugh. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry for making you feel insecure.
Sorry, it wasn't you.
Mara, do you want to go give Levistus the good news?
And Harmony, do you want to talk to Discord?
Right, I have to talk to Discord. See if he'll help us.
More like beg him to help us now. Yeah. Let's go talk to Leviscus. Anybody want to come with me?
I'm coming.
Okay,
Hi.
here we go. Wish us luck.
So he's currently seated back up at the high table, and I have to get out my seating chart so I can remember where he's positioned.
In between Glasya and the naked girl.
That's right. And Glasya, after and re-entering the chamber, kind of disappears. So it's
It starts with an F. I don't remember her name.
Fierna.
Fierna.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just Fierna who's sitting next to him. But the two don't seem like they get along at all. They're kind of like leaned opposite directions. So yeah, he's basically just sat at the tables, like sulking and eating as much of the good food as he can.
Okay, I'll sit down beside him, away from the lady.
Okay, so you take Glasya's seat on the other side
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
Let me try and remember something. The person who is sitting on the other side, if you take Glasya's seat, is
Zariel.
a very, I mean, it's a hideous figure, and actually it
Oh,
takes
no.
up a huge portion of the table. It's like a 20-foot tall slug that is constantly surrounded by like swarms of buzzing flies and like scuttling insects and things like that.
Amazing.
Its body kind of glistens with this mucus and like other layers of rancid filth. And it just kind of smells a little gross. But when you sit down, the creature turns towards you, and you can see it actually has like a hideous impression of a human face on the front of it. It doesn't have like the normal like slug antenna eyeballs. And it just looks at you and it says, "Hey," and it goes back to whatever it was doing as you sit down in Glasya's seat.
I'll greet him,
Nice.
but I will casually pull out a scented handkerchief and hold it to my nose.
I'm gonna
So
stand
then I
between.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna stand between Fierna and Levistus on the other side.
Okay.
Fierna definitely like takes an interest in you sort of as you step in between her and Levistus. Like she was kind of giving Levistus the cold shoulder, and it was mutual the other way. But as you stand in between, she kind of like turns at you and gives you kind of like a long look up and down. And it just, the look seems to go on as you just, yep.
The cold shoulder from like a
It kinda
fire
gives you a
elemental lady. It's funny.
Little
What will
one-hand
you
wave.
do,
Yeah.
Dad? What will you do?
This is your show. I'm just here to support you.
Well, she's making moves on you.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Okay. Alrighty. So, but have I spoken to Leviscus before? It's all been you besides the greeting, right? Because
came-
Yeah.
I was,
I
Go ahead.
I spoke to him last time, but we didn't get along that well. And I feel like the news should come from you because it's
Okay.
your grandfather.
Thaddeus
Right.
also did bring him over to the table, so he met the group of you.
Okay.
You just didn't do
Alright.
much talking with him.
Okay, so I will assume my happy face because I have good news about my grandfather, hopefully, that so I'll greet him very happily and say we had a very productive meeting.
Oh,
Did my internet freeze?
Nope,
No,
you're
you're
still
okay.
here.
Okay.
he says, "Oh, is that so?"
Yes, I know that Thaddeus can't say much, but I'm not bound by his constraints. And so I can happily report that you've got good news coming.
And he kind of like raises an eyebrow at you. Would you roll me? I mean, there's a little bit of deception there, isn't there? Because you also know something bad is coming for him. Can you roll me
Yes, but I'm a
deception
positive
check?
person.
Yeah.
Overruled,
I
she
look-
says.
I look on the bright side of things.
Can I assist with this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
So you can
Okay,
take
I'm gonna
advantage.
use the hellish one.
To be fair, death is its own freedom.
But she said
That's-
good news.
It's good news for us.
Good news for him too.
Okay, and you said it was a persuasion?
Deception.
Deception.
And you've got advantage because of Thaddeus.
Okay, so let's roll one more. That one wasn't too bad, but it's the same thing on both. So 17.
17, okay. He looks at you with a raised eyebrow. These strange void-like eyes that just seem to, they're like black pools that absorb the light around him. He kind of stares at you for a second, and as he does, like drops of water just drip quietly off of his outfit, and he says, "Why is it that I do not believe you entirely?"
I don't know, because I really want to see my grandfather whole again after everything he's done for me. So I don't understand what the big deal is. I feel like
We
they
had a
paid
deal
their
and we've
debt
upheld
anyway.
our end
That's
of it.
right.
Okay. Remind me, what was the deal you struck with him?
If
didn't
we
remember
could
you guys coming
negotiate
to an agreement.
his freedom, then he was going to free
Anton
Anton.
and the group.
Okay. And he says, okay, so he says, so you're telling me that Asmodeus has agreed to allow me to be free from now onward. No more going back to the prison.
You will definitely not be in prison anymore. I promise.
Okay. He kind of nods his head and says, "Now, see, that part I believe. I see the truth in you, but when you say I have good news coming my way, something about that doesn't ring right."
Regardless, we did have a deal.
And he kind of leans back in his chair and says, "Fine. If tonight ends and Asmodeus does indeed release me from my prison, consider my end of the deal upheld."
Awesome. Do we shake hands on it?
He offers a hand forth when you ask that.
Okay. Deal.
He shakes it.
So
He like takes another bite of food, just kind of looks at you.
I'd like to do something as well. When I return to the table and I'm kind of just observing the party doing these interactions, I'd like to use Know Your Enemy on Levistus.
Oh, I see. Okay. What do you want to know about him?
We can do that later, or we can do it now if you want.
We can do it now since you're sort of casually watching this scene.
Yeah. I'd like to know if his armor class is higher than mine or lower.
What's your armor class?
21.
21. Okay, so looking at him, looking at him critically, sort of for the first time, he looks very human outwardly. And he's not wearing any heavy armor. But like, you catch, I don't know how you would necessarily notice this, but you catch like the light reflecting off, the ice, and then off of like his skin, at just the right angle, and you can see that it has like this slight, like shine to it, as if it's not exactly human skin. And what you would perceive is that he has a higher armor class.
Okay. I also want to know if his dexterity and constitution scores are higher than mine or lower. Those are both
what
14.
are your scores? Sorry?
14?
14 for both?
Yeah.
Both of his skills or stats seem to be higher than yours.
Okay.
And you would sort of get that by when he walks around, you see that he moves with like inhuman grace. It's reminiscent of like your experiences watching Mara move. There's just like very practiced footwork in every step that he takes, except even more so. And then as far as his constitution goes, you just, after a long while of observing him, you see that like he actually has, a very like well-built body underneath those robes and things like that. And you can tell that he has higher constitution than you.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted.
The awkward silence is sort of hanging in the air between you and Levistus as he's just kind of watching you.
Is Fiona
so
still
I'm-
checking me out?
Yeah, I mean, she's taken to kind of like doing other flirty things. Like like she'll give you the occasional wink or things like that, but she doesn't seem to be like taking her eyes off you or anything like
Okay.
that.
So I'm just gonna make small talk and talk to him about, since I know this is his quote unquote last meal. I'll make small talk about the food and find out what his favorite is and things like that.
All of these questions were making me nervous.
You're a very jittery guy, aren't you?
When you've been through the things that I have been through, you become this way.
Well, sucks to be you.
He goes quiet. Like, you can continue talking at him, but he doesn't really respond to you very much after that.
I don't know if I got a chance to eat earlier, so I'll just eat.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of food, and it all tastes great. There's like any sort of material plane food you could imagine. It's somewhere in this ballroom. So.
Okay.
So Harmony,
Yeah,
you're going over to talk to Discord.
I am.
As you begin walking over that direction,
As I begin walking over that direction, I'd like to just kind of scope out Mr. Weird Amulet, Grotz, or whatever his name is.
yep,
Just want to kind of check him out as I walk by, see what I can see.
he seems like maybe he's getting a little impatient or something, but he's still pretty much just leaned up against the wall. He's waiting for something to happen, and it's not happening yet, and he's losing his patience with it. That's what you would notice.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Then I'll walk up to Discord's group.
Okay. They see you coming, and what is her name? Ambition just kind of like leans back in her chair. Sorry, my chair is very squeaky.
It adds to the ambiance.
She leans back in her chair and kind of like gives you the like side eye as you approach.
Hi.
Passion, gives you a little bit of a wave, and Discord just kind of gives you a curt nod and pulls out a seat for you.
I sit down.
So, what's the deal?
Well, is there a more private place we can talk than this?
Kind of looks around.
nowhere's truly private in the Hells, but I mean, we could go over there against the wall or something if you want. At
That
least be
might be a
away
little
from the
bit-
tables.
That might be a little bit too suspicious. Anyway, I'll just lay it out here. So we talked to Glasya. She's really
He
nice.
just kind of like
which-
gives you the motion, like, at least just keep your voice down.
Yeah, I am.
You think you are, but you're like 6 glasses of wine.
I mean, yeah,
so-
I was gonna say. I was gonna say. So we talked to Glasya, and she's like, really cool, which sucks because I hate her.
hell.
And yeah, and this party's crazy. Anyway, she wants us to take somebody out for her, and in
He kind of
return,
looks confused.
she'll
says-
find a loophole in our contract, and as long as we don't ask what that loophole is, she'll take care of it for us.
Wait, who is there that we could take out that Glasya can't take out on her own? Her minions. I'm not following.
He's kind of a big someone. But you said you'd help, right?
He nods.
I look
Yes.
at all 3 of them. Right?
They're with me. If I say I'm helping, they'll help too.
I love
And-
that show of support.
And I mean, Ambition kind of like gives a solemn nod, though. She looks a little bit annoyed at your flippant response to it, but she gives a nod in support of what Discord said.
Great, because I think we're going to need all the help we can get, and you are very powerful. I mean, here I am paying you a compliment, admitting that you did kind of scare me a little bit with that big, swarm of meteors, but, we're on the same side in this, right?
For now, assuming it works, and maybe we don't have to be enemies at all.
Exactly. As long as we don't die.
He
Which,
nods.
I mean, we shouldn't die. We're really strong.
He
We'll be
nods and
totally
says,
fine.
Yes, we are.
Exactly.
So-
So we can count on you, huh?
Yes. Just tell me when and where to be.
Sidebar to the rest of the group. I don't remember because it's been a week. Do we have a meeting place for after the party, or did she say she was going to get back to us?
I feel like Glasya was going to come collect us. I don't remember exactly how this is going to go down.
Glasya told you at some point in the night, Levistus is going to get bad news and storm off.
Mhm.
And that's
I
your
see.
cue.
Okay, so in that case, I will say, well, you have 2 options, and I'm going to lay them out for you right here. You could come and join us at our table, and we can have a nice meal together and be friends. Or you can stay here and be, all sulky and sullen and kind of creepy at your own table, and I can do a hand sign or something to signal you when it's time to move out, and then you can come follow us.
When you're laying out the second option, Ambition just says, judging much?
Pot kettle?
But Discord says,
We'll stay here for now. What's the signal?
I will flick my wrist and cast prestidigitation and do like a little firework above my head. Be like, that'll be the signal. It's rainbow colored.
he gives a nod.
Fine.
Looking forward to working with you. Make sure you eat a lot of food because we're gonna need all the fuel we can get.
You should try to sober up a little.
Oh, don't worry, I've got a paladin on my team. I'll be fine.
I find that dipping your head in the cold ice water, that'll work.
Thanks for the tip. Bye.
He doesn't think about you.
I just get up and leave.
Yep.
But I look over my shoulder to blow a kiss at Ambition as I leave.
And all you just get back is, she hates you, and it's obvious.
I love it. I love it.
Can't imagine anybody hating Harmony. just
Ambition
like her on
does.
principle.
But as she does that, I'll say that like passion like reaches like lunges over and like tries to cover her arm, like pull it down.
And I'll just go back to our table and get a very big glass of water.
Okay. The entertainment seems to have switched from dancing again to something else, and there are devils that are actually engaging in like duels, like sword duels and things like that. And they get pretty violent. It looks like most of these devils, the ones that lose, are at least like on the verge of death before like other devils will rush in to heal them and like pull them apart. And that goes on sort of as the group of you are regrouping at your table. So.
I wanted to very briefly talk to Fiona.
Oh, sure.
And say, you're Fiona, right?
Yes, and I know who you are, of course, Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock.
Mm-hmm. Ruler of the pleasure domain and all that.
Well, I mean, it's not usually called that. Phlegethus, yes, the fourth. I'm one of two rulers of the plane, but of course my father, he doesn't very much enjoy these events.
That's not one of the layers that we brushed up on during our tour. We were only expecting to go to 3, not meet all of them.
Well, I mean, I could probably show you a good time if you ever wanted to visit. She gives like a flirty wink after that.
That won't be necessary. I was curious about one thing though. Do you know?
Of course, ask anything. I'm an open book.
Do you know much about my world, Elendal?
She seems to think, or at least feign thinking. You know, you're not. I mean, it's a little bit unclear which one it is. But she says, "No, I don't. Tell me about it. I would love to hear."
If you don't know it, then I don't think you can answer my question anyway. It's lovely meeting you. Thank you.
She puts on a pouty face as you turn to walk away.
All right.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yep.
Yeah, well, conversation didn't go the way I was hoping it to. It happens.
And at some point between the time when Thaddeus leaves his spot there and everyone groups up back at your table, Glasya seems to have slipped back into her spot at the high table without being detected by any of you. But you've all regrouped. There is a display of devils killing each other happening in the center of the room.
I'm gonna tap Harmony on the shoulder and use lay on hands and cure this drunkenness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Probably a good idea.
Told you, I have a paladin.
I'd still recommend the ice water.
Anything that the group of you would like to do or talk about as you're sitting here sort of braced and waiting for whenever this thing happens that will trigger Leviscus to be angry?
So that Gritzt guy, Grazd.
Is that his name?
I think Mara shared his name with us, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, my amulet's kind of reacting funny to him.
Did you go talk to him about it?
I haven't. I was doing other things. I asked Mara to.
Yeah. Well, you know, he didn't really give me a buzzworthy response.
What does that mean?
He was very close-lipped, very difficult to crack.
So I kind of want to go talk to him, but I don't know how much time we have left.
Seems like he has something else on his mind. So.
I know. He seems like every time I look over there, he looks grumpier and grumpier.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared. I mean, I'm not scared, but I'm like, you know, maybe I should just give him a wide berth.
Yeah, one more person to avoid.
Out of character, didn't he say something about how we would know the story of his amulet by the end of the night or something?
Did he say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you told that to Mara.
His amulet, we don't know
Whether
if
or
his
not-
amulet
yeah.
is the reason my amulet's going nuts. Like,
Sure.
we don't know that for sure.
Well,
I don't
as the
remember
group
him
of you
saying
are
that.
kind of discussing Grotz and sort of looking over at him, you hear a clinking sound come from the head of the hall, and you turn and you see that Asmodeus is standing on his little dais with
God,
a
you
goblet
scared
in
me.
hand that he is tapping with the ruby tip of his rod. And he, when the room falls sort of instantly silent, the combatants in the middle of the floor instantly drawing apart and taking like respectful bowed positions. He begins to talk and he says, "Now, what a wonderful night of celebration this has been." And there's sort of a, like a polite clapping after he says that. But he goes on and he says, "I would like to take this opportunity to once more thank the heroes of hell for their epic feats on behalf of the Inferno war effort. We shall not soon forget our gratitude to them for slaying the Prince of Demons and saving the city of Tampa in its hour of peril." And then he kind of gives like a motion. He looks over at the group of you and gives a motion for the group of you to stand.
Yeah, I'll stand.
Yeah, I'll stand.
Okay.
I guess I
I'm-
will if everyone
I'll-
else is.
I'll take a bow.
Yeah.
And as you do, he begins to clap, and everyone else in the room instantly, as soon as he begins to clap, follows suit. And soon there's a roar of applause going through the chamber for the group of you.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of nice.
I could get used to it.
I get you.
And it goes on for a little bit, just long enough that it starts to feel uncomfortable that you're sort of standing for this entire duration. But then Asmodeus stops clapping, and instantly the rest of the crowd also stops clapping.
I'll sit back down.
I sit
Yeah,
down
same.
immediately.
But as the silence sort of fills the room, as the group of you sit down, he goes on and says, "But that is not the only reason we have gathered here tonight. For what would any occasion of celebration be if we did not take the opportunity to honor those who put themselves in harm's way for the greater good of the multiverse? And to that end, it is with great pleasure that I draw your attention to one devil who did what no one else could and infiltrated the infinite abyss to strike against our hated foes in a moment of weakness." And the room, like, there's a palpable silence here because everyone is sort of looking around and trying to pick out who this devil is who's about to be personally honored by Asmodeus. And that silence, Asmodeus clearly like lets it go on for a little while before he feels the tension is sufficient and then says, "Please, I bid you all rise and welcome Gratz back into our fold." And there's like, despite the hold that Asmodeus has over the room, there's like a slight outburst of like chatter at that, but it only lasts a second before he silences it, with just like a brief flick of the wrist and a little bit of a gaze across the room. And he says, "Now I know some of you may be perplexed by this turn of events, since Gratz has for hundreds of years been among our most hated foes, naming himself the Demon Lord of Azathoth. But in truth, he has all the while been acting in my service, and I assure you, he returns to us with the greatest weapon we could ask for in our battle against the demons." And then he motions for Gratz to join him on the stage, and Gratz just kind of like leans off against the wall and saunters forward. In the silence, the only sound that you hear is his hooved feet clacking across the ice as he walks slowly through the midst of the tables and straight up to the dais, where he takes sort of a kneeling position in front of Asmodeus, and then pulls the amulet off of his neck and offers it to Asmodeus. Asmodeus then sort of looks at Gratz offering the amulet to him, for a brief moment before picking it up, and you all see a grin of triumph flash across his face as he puts it over his neck. And there's a brief pulse of power throughout the room.
What the shit?
Yep. And Asmodeus says, now, for his great service in winning us the means to bring the blood war to an end once and for all, on this day I hereby bestow upon him his former name. Arise, ruin, and claim your place among the Archdukes of Hell as Lord of the Fifth. And with that proclamation, there is uncontrollable murmurs across the room, and Asmodeus doesn't try to stop it. He just pulls Gratz to his feet, and Gratz sort of turns around and surveys the room, and Asmodeus calmly sits back down into his throne and admires his amulet. As Gratz then descends the stage and leaves the room.
What is Levistus doing?
Levistus looks furious. You would gather that this is probably the moment that Glasya was talking about. And in fact, Glasya looks triumphant in this brief moment.
What was Gratz's name?
Ruin.
Ruin? Okay.
Which, Harmony, would you make just like an intelligence check?
Well, sure.
Take advantage. Take advantage.
Okay. All right. Sorry, an intelligence? Just intelligence?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh,
it's a low
boy.
DC. You're not looking for much.
It's not very good. 11?
You needed 10.
Oh, good.
It strikes you that sounds like it could be a tiefling name.
Yeah, that thought did cross my mind.
But the whispering around the room has not stopped.
What sort of whispers are there?
There's, roll a perception check, I guess, and we'll see what you hear.
Okay. I'm also observant, so I can read lips, if that's...
This is true. Yeah.
Okay. But that's a 26.
26? There's all sorts of things flying around the room. There's some devils are saying, wait, what does this mean for Levistus? Does that mean he's demoted? Or is Gratz gonna share control of the lair with him? And then there's others who are whispering things like, but wait, Gratz has been the head of some of the demon armies. He's been a demon lord in the abyss for thousands of years, hundreds of years. How can this be? He was an agent of Asmodeus the whole time? No way. There's just all this
just confusion, sort of.
Confusion. Yeah, this is a huge event. And then there's also people being like, wait, what is that amulet? What could it be? What magic powers could it have? Asmodeus said it could bring an end to the blood war forever. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if anyone actually knows what the amulet is. If they just throw out some name of some artifact or something. I'd be looking from eye to eye for the Council of Eight and seeing if they say, oh, that's the such and such, or that must be this or that, or.
Right. Let me look at which members of the Dark Eight are here and see.
So we have the promotion person, we have the person who led us, or I guess awkwardly held Harmony's hand, and we have the person who's not in their true form, they're ugly or something. I don't know. And then I don't remember if there's any other ones. Or even the Archdevils too.
I don't think any of them or the Archdevils would sort of betray. Most of the Archdevils and the Dark Eight aren't engaging in the rampant whispering.
Yeah.
The one thing with your perception check that I will give you, since it was a very good perception check, is you hear one higher ranking group of devils, maybe a group of pit fiends or something like that, whispering something like, they're discussing the amulet, and one of them says, well, it looks like, but it couldn't be. I mean, a simple demon amulet? That wouldn't do anything. How's that going to change the tide of the blood war entirely? And they seem to be having some skepticism there. But yeah, no one else seems to know what's going on.
Okay. So the general room is just confused right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only other person whose expression I'll mention is his name's you've learned about him. His name's Gregorian.
I was gonna ask about him.
Yeah, you saw him at one point. He's kind of like got this tall, muscular body. He's just like completely shirtless. But he's got like this serpentine tail that stretches like 30 feet out. So it's like a really long tail.
Wow.
That ends in like a venom dripping barb. And then he has also these like massive bat wings protruding from his back. So he's very like a mix of weird creatures. And he, at his table, is fuming. Like he basically, at this proclamation, slammed his fist down on the table made of ice, and it just shattered under his fist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't need a perception of 26 to see that, probably.
Nope.
But he was Levistus's counterpart, so to speak, or I guess his
rival.
Rival.
Kind of.
That's
Yeah.
a better way to put it. Yeah. So. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well.
So if there's enough chaos and confusion, this is probably
Good
a
time.
good time for us to go. So I look
What is-
around at you guys and I'm like, are we good?
I'm watching Levistus. He's supposed to be storming off.
Sorry, I thought Ethan already said he got
No,
out.
not yet. He looked furious, but he hasn't got up and left yet.
Okay.
But as you're sort of watching him for your cue, Glasya leans over to him, with like a very like victorious and like gloating expression on her face. She whispers something in his ear. It takes like maybe 10 seconds to whisper something in his ear. And he just stands up, pushing his chair back. It like falls over completely. And in the midst of all the turmoil, he turns and walks out of the room.
Did she cover her hand with her mouth like
Yeah,
this?
she does.
Dang.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cue.
That's our cue.
That's our
All
cue.
right, so I'm going to send up a couple of prestidigitation rainbow fireworks above our table.
Okay. You look over then to Discord, and he and the rest of his crew stand and sort of fade into the tumultuous room as they make their way towards the table that you're at.
Should we try and sneak out or just walk out?
Up to you.
I'm asking them.
We should try to be a little bit stealthy.
Want
Like,
me to
don't you
use
think?
pass without a trace?
I don't
Couldn't
know.
hurt.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I'll cast pass without
Yeah.
a trace on us 5, and then I guess we can roll stealth with +10.
Okay.
Roll my disadvantage though.
Are you wearing your armor?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Somehow, before we do him in, we got to get him to nullify the contract too. But now he's super ticked.
I thought doing him in is the same as nullifying the contract.
Oh, okay.
Has it been an hour since I made my deal with Asmodeus? Can I speak freely now? Is what I'm asking.
It would probably be just about at the edge of an hour,
Okay.
because Asmodeus was timing when this announcement was going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
So yeah, I would say you can speak freely. All right.
yeah.
What did everyone get on their stealth checks?
22.
Nice.
I think I need to roll Tides of Chaos on this one, you guys.
Wow, even with. Oh wait, no, sorry, I forgot I was rolling at disadvantage. My stealth check is 13.
Oh, okay, that's pretty different.
Well, if it's group advantage, Biako's got us covered. Byakko got a 44.
Oh, dang.
I got a natural 20 for Byakko.
I'm at a 29.
Hey, that's good. That beats
Okay.
me. I got a
And
24 on
Mara?
Xant.
Or I got an 18.
With plus
Alright.
10? And whatever else you got?
I'm not
Oh,
proficient
you're not
in
proficient.
stealth.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Sleight of hand, yeah, but
Oh,
not
that's right.
stealth.
Why do you need to roll stealth checks? You're a rogue.
Not all rogues are the same.
I know.
I'm a very clumsy rogue.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. So the group of you, for the most part, make your way out pretty stealthily. And let's see, Discord and his crew also.
I mean, I can give it to them too if they're trying to be stealthy, right?
They seem like they're trying to follow suit. So
Okay.
you can affect enough people. There's 3 of them.
I'm reading the spell right now. It says each creature you choose within 30 feet.
Okay.
It doesn't
Okay.
say a number.
Hang on.
For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has plus 10 to dexterity stealth, can't be tracked except by magical means. They leave no traces or tracks of their passage. One action, concentration. That's it.
Oh, I get
Okay.
plus 10 from you, so it's a 28.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Lulu, by the way, rolled a 24.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Lulu. Wait,
Good
isn't
job,
Lulu in
Lulu.
sword mode? Does she have
No.
to roll? Oh,
I never
just
dismissed her.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's in like small elephant
Mammoth mode.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give it to the party of tieflings as well.
Okay. It looks so. Discord seems like he does okay, especially as your magic, circles around him and helps him fade into the shadows. But his 2 other tiefling friends, Ambition and Passion, are wearing what seems to be heavy armor underneath their sort of officers' uniforms, and they definitely make a little bit of a clank as the group of you are leaving.
Yeah, well, we're
But
just trying
as
not to raise too
you
much suspicion, so.
sort of enter the hall after Levistus, suddenly Glasya and a group of maybe 10, 12 other devils, all of them the sort of devil you remember the general that you met before you took the Infernal War Machine across the past?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all that sort of type of devil where they have like this statuesque human form with these like black raven feathered wings. They almost look like they could be like dark angels, but they do have like fiendish horns and things like that that sort of give them away as devils. And so she and a group of these heavily armed statuesque humanoid devils are suddenly right by your side in the hall. And Glasya just says, well then, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm gonna
It's now or
start
never.
casting my spells on our way.
And
yeah,
I'll cast mine too.
Lulu's gonna give you, Hunter, protection from good and evil.
Who's
Who's
Hunter?
Hunter?
It's his aunt. It gets us all in the end.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll
I
give it
did
to myself.
Okay, thanks. I'll write that down.
This can, because I didn't interrupt you in time, this can be some, if the spell has like a duration of a minute or something like this is something that Glasya would have said in advance, but she basically just says, we've got a little bit of a travel before we reach where he'll be lying in wait for us. So,
How much?
5 minutes or so. So
Okay.
plan accordingly.
Yeah.
So Glasya and her devils begin to lead you through the icy tunnels and away from the party. And as soon as you're out of sort of the main tunnels that led into the party, which were lit by magical lights, you find that all of the tunnels are dark. They weren't lit up at all. And so if you don't have dark vision, you're sort of relying on Thaddeus's sword and things like that to provide light, or Mara's headlamps.
Yeah. Her blinkers, she like winks and.
Yep. Glasya leads you through these tunnels, and almost as if they were, it's like you've stepped into like a heist movie, and these devils have been planning for this for a long time. They know exactly what they're doing because as you reach certain parts in the tunnels, different groups of devils will split off and like run ahead and disarm traps so that the rest of you can like walk through. And so you
Cool.
see them sort of like tactically advancing through these tunnels, where if it were just the group of you, you would have certainly had a much harder time. But they seem to know where every little trap and pitfall is going to be. And eventually some of them have to split off because various monsters and things will stand in your path. But groups of these devils that seem like predetermined, like groups of 4 of them, will split off and begin tackling these monsters so that the rest of the group of you can pass on by.
Great. Is Discord's group right with us too?
Yep, Discord's group
Great.
is running along, and Glasya doesn't seem to have like acknowledged them all that much. But eventually, all of the groups of devils have split off except for Glasya and the group of you, and Discord's group as well. And you come to a chamber that is effectively, it looks like sort of a wide hearing chamber. There's seats and things that people who come to speak to Levistus could sit in as they're dealing with him. But mostly there's just this wall of ice at the back of the chamber, and beyond the ice you can see a small cramped space where there's not much more than like a bench made out of ice and like a writing desk, and that's about it. And Levistus is basically standing there with his hand on the icy wall, looking through at the place where he has been confined for hundreds, if not thousands of years, as the group of you enter the chamber. And he says, "You know it didn't have to come to this, Glasya." And she says, "Oh, but of course it did, Levistus. As soon as she died, this is the outcome that was ordained." And he says, "But that wasn't my fault. You know that." Yes, you might say that you didn't murder her yourself, but you're the reason she died." And he turns around with anger in his eyes and he says, "No, I'm not. You are." And she just kind of like flounces off to the side of the chamber and sort of gestures at the group of you and says, "Well, it doesn't matter whose fault it is that she's dead, because now you're going to pay for it." At that point, I need to have Zach do something because I forgot about it. I meant to do it as you were leaving the party.
Okay.
Can you roll a retroactive perception check?
I can. With or without advantage or anything, or just
regular. Yeah.
Okay.
But you have a good bonus. So
that is a 24.
24. Okay. You definitely think that your leaving the party didn't go completely unnoticed. You think that one being saw the group of you leave, and that would be Gregorian. As the group of you sort of are entering this chamber, you hear sounds from down the tunnel that you came from. But as of now, you're alone. And Levistus turns his gaze to the group of you and says, "It doesn't have to be like this. Remember what I promised. If the end of the night comes and I have my freedom." And he just kind of lets the sentence hang.
You wouldn't give it to us, so we'll be dealing with Gratz now, who I expect will be very grateful once we're finished.
He shakes his head sort of defeatedly and says, "It is astounding how quickly mortals learn to play our games." And he strides to the center of the chamber, pulling out a rapier from one of his sides, and then pulling out another rapier from the other side, The second rapier he tosses into the air, and it begins to magically float by his side. And he does a quick flourish and brings the rapier up in front of his face and says, "Well then, shall we get on with it?"
Did you get to cast your spell?
Yeah, you guys can have done all the prep
All
you
right,
wanted.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
What spell did you want to cast?
I was gonna meditate with Kusanagi in the room and cast whatever it's called, Guardian of Nature.
Okay. So remind me, since it's been a while, there's a transformation that happens. What does that look like again?
Okay, so when I cast Guardian of Nature, Zant slowly starts looking more like the Guardian Spirit Byakko. He takes on some of his features, and so he gets all that, like his white, is like this whitish fur and stuff like that. Gets around his body and stuff. And he gets, I think, let me see. He gets a lot of, I think, just general cat-like features. So maybe like his face changes a little bit and stuff like that, and he gets claws and stuff.
Eyes get kind of feline.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So the group of you are standing in the chamber. Levistus is slowly and carefully advancing towards you, one rapier floating by his head, the other held in front of him in a defensive duelist position. And he says, "So, who's first?" And I guess we roll initiative.
Sure. All right. Oh man, Gregorian. Oh, I figured this might happen.
Oh dear.
All right.
Here we go.
And Zach, I should specify, you don't think Gregorian saw you. You think Gregorian saw Discord's allies.
Oh, okay.
The group of you, the group of you made it out,
see.
probably, except for maybe Thaddeus, I guess. But Thaddeus, you had a 13.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I managed to roll 3.
I mean, I rolled a 1 and had to use Tides of Chaos, so if not for Tides of Chaos, mine would have been 11. Or 13,
So,
rather.
Nick, what is Thaddeus's initiative?
9.
Harmony.
6.
Ooh. Vant.
I have 16.
16. Okay. And Mara.
17.
17.
It's okay because Byakko has 8.
Ooh. And Lulu.
Oh, I didn't roll for Lou.
We can just put her on your initiative if you want.
Okay. Right.
If that's easier.
Wait, this is like the first time Xant and Byakko aren't
I
acting
know.
right after each
I know.
other.
I saw it and I was
It's
like,
weird.
oh man.
You know what? Let's just put Byakko with Vant. That's easier.
No.
Okay, sure, whatever.
I mean, would you rather it be the other way?
No,
We can do it either way.
I'd rather him be with me.
Okay. In that case, Levistus advances forward, and as he
shit.
does so, he flicks the rapier that's in his hand, and the other one that is sort of hovering in the air by him goes flying off towards, let's see, he's a very tactical guy. It goes flying directly towards Harmony.
I knew you were
basically-
going to say me.
Yep. Because he's going to be busy with the others, so his little rapier is going to have you. Does, oh boy, big step block. Oh boy. There it is. Rapier. Does a 26 hit you?
Yes.
All right. The rapier pierces into your cloak and sort of catches you on the shoulder. You take 19 piercing damage and 14 cold damage, which I believe you have down to 7.
Yeah, I do. I have resistance to cold damage now. So sorry, it was 14 and 7.
19 and 7.
19 and 7.
As the rapier contacts with you, there's this explosion of cold energy around it that just kind of coats you with a little bit of frost.
Cool.
And then he points his other rapier towards Zant. And Zant, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Crap. All right.
And unfortunately, this is not a spell. It's sort of an innate ability.
So I don't. Well, do I still get advantage though?
You get a bonus from Thaddeus, is what you get.
Let me see.
Which is still a +5. He said, looking directly at
This
Teddy.
says spells and abilities used by the greater favored enemy. So does that
And yes,
count?
you get advantage.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is
I heard
a 25.
That's just what you needed.
Yes!
Um,
I got an 18.
Yep.
+7.
Holy
Thank you,
shit, that's a
Thaddeus.
high
Oh my
DC.
god.
You feel
Oh
you
my
feel
gosh.
this like for a brief second, you forget who you are,
Oh
why
gosh.
you're there, what you came to do,
Oh my
and
gosh.
there's just this moment of confusion where like your entire brain is shutting down. But there's the little voice of Biako in the back of your head, and it says, "No, you must power through it." And you manage to convince your brain that it needs to succeed against this effect, and does not take effect on you.
Do I know what spell it was? Or what ability it was, I guess? Or like what it would have
Nope.
done? No? Okay.
Nope.
I see.
The other thing that I need each of you to do on his turn, before his turn ends, is I need each of you to make a charisma deception check.
Deception?
Yes, as Levistus is looking at every single one of you and sort of assessing exactly what you'll do next.
Jesus Christ, I'm not rolling well today.
I wonder if this is like the rogue archetype thing.
11.
Okay.
I also got an 11.
6.
Oh.
Oh, that's a 13.
Okay.
Biako has a -2 to deception, but that's still a 16.
Wait,
in which
Do
case,
we add
Harmony.
5? I'm sorry.
It's deception.
This is not-
No, it's not a saving
Yeah.
throw.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a check. In which
Okay.
case, Harmony, I forgot. He can sneak attack on the thing that he hit you with. So there was actually an extra 35 piercing damage on that.
An extra 35?
Yep.
Oof.
Go to hell, Ethan.
But that ends Levistus's turn. As he just kind of is observing the group of you and sort of waiting for one of you to come approach him.
That
Lily
was
got
like
an
half
11.
of my HP in one attack.
How far away is he?
We'll say 30 feet from the group of you. And then unfortunately, it's his lair actions immediately after,
Great.
which I have to.
We make good choices, you guys.
Yep. Feeling great about everything that's happened tonight.
Yep.
There it is. Lair actions. Okay. What would be the best thing to happen first? Oh, this is a good one. Basically, from the area around his feet, this icy mist rises up around him and he vanishes from sight as there's this now 20-foot radius sphere of icy mist surrounding him.
Great.
I can still see him. Because
If
I have
you get
blind
close.
sense.
If you get close, because your blind sight is how many feet? 15?
It is 10 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you've got to get in there and get close before you know where he is.
Okay.
But then it is Mara's turn.
Okay. So with my weird eyes, I don't see better. They just glow.
They create light, which is now kind of like, it's like using headlights in the fog. It's
Okay.
It's bouncing off of all of the icy mist in the center of the chamber. Not really doing you any good.
Okay, so let me try to picture this. He's facing us. There's nobody behind him.
Well, you can't see him right now because he's enveloped in this mist.
That's what I
completely.
mean. Okay.
When you last saw him, he was facing you and he was alone in the chamber.
All right. So, and how tall is the chamber?
It's quite high. It has these like vaulted ceilings to it. Probably about 35, 40 feet or so. Did she freeze?
Oh yeah.
Did she? She did.
Mara, come back.
Mara, come back.
She's just deep in thought.
Oh,
I
she's
know
back.
my internet is really unstable tonight. I'm sorry.
You're back.
It's like every other week. So since I can't see him right now, I'm gonna go ahead and cast fly.
Okay. So do you want to like take up to the sky and just
Yeah.
soar above the mist a little bit? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you kind of get a bird's eye view above the mist, and it's still thick from above, and you can't quite see down into it. Anything
That
else
way
you want to
maybe
do on your turn?
that way maybe I can get lucky and so I can't hold an action since I cast it, but maybe I'll get lucky and get close enough where I can get a
Stay
glimpse.
close to me though, Mara. Don't go too far away.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna do.
At the end of Mara's turn,
Jesus Christ!
no, it's not Levistus. It's not Levistus. It's worse.
Oh no.
You
God damn it!
hear sounds from behind you,
Oh
and the group
no.
of you turn to see the snake-like form of Gregorian slithering towards you. And it doesn't seem like he's quite seen what's in the room yet, because the tunnel leading up to the chamber is at a bit of a slope. So he's calling out to Levistus because he hasn't seen what is happening in the chamber at this point, and he says, "Levistus, Levistus, are you there? I have a proposition for you." He's like just shouting this down the chamber. And at the end of his turn, he comes into the chamber, sees what is happening, and Glasya kind of like gives him a little bit of a wink. And he surveys the group of you and says, "What are you doing?"
Hey. Cool.
Oh
Does
boy.
anyone have an immediate response to him, or?
Yeah, I will. If Thaddeus doesn't say anything,
No.
then I'll say, "Now's your chance to get him good. Get your rival good.
Okay.
Now's your chance to take him out once and for all. Help us," is what I say.
Okay. He kind of looks confused and he like shakes his head a little bit. And Discord turns to you and he says, "Should I keep that one busy?"
Sure. Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Then he kind of gives a nod to ambition and passion, and the three of them turn to face Gregorian as the group of you are facing Levistus. Okay. Then it is Xant's turn.
So it's either I start also fighting Gregorian because I can't see Levistus.
Just don't get too far away from me just yet.
No, I'm not moving. Yeah, I think I'll start fighting Gregorian then. Well, first let's try this. I'm gonna have Byakko.
I will say it looks like Gregorian is kind of covered, but you can definitely help out if you want. Like
Covered, like how much cover?
In that Discord and his friends seem like they're braced to take him on if violence ensues.
Yeah, but the
if you
sooner they
want
take
to-
him down, then they can help us, right?
This is true.
So, but first I'm gonna have Byakko. So you said this mist is how big around Levistus?
20-foot
So-
radius.
Okay, so what I want to try and do is I want Byakko to run in there into the mist and try and pull Levistus out of it.
Okay. Have Byakko make a perception check. I suppose at advantage because he can use scent.
Okay, that is pretty dang good. That is 30.
30. That's
He has a plus 14, so
certainly enough. So Byakko wants to make a grapple check and try and pull Levistus out. Is that the plan?
yeah, if that's what he has to do, yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's also really good.
Let's see. Okay. How did he do?
Athletics. It's a 22.
Okay, so Byakko runs into the mist, guided by his sense of smell, and finds Levistus. And you can't see any of this, but if we kind of see things from Byakko's point of view, he tries to lunge at Levistus and grab onto him with his jaws. But Levistus just kind of like, as if he himself were made of water or some other fluid, he just flows out of the way. And he's just too dexterous for Byakko to get any sort of hold on him.
Okay, well.
He rolled a 28.
Dang. In that case, I'm not going to waste arrows shooting into the mist, so I'll fire 3 arrows at Garion.
Okay.
That one... What?
The guy we just asked to help?
But he's not helping.
He hasn't done anything.
He's
He
fighting
hasn't
Discord.
done anything yet. Well, Discord said he's going to keep him busy.
Ethan just said they were going to be violent with each other.
I said that Discord and his
If.
friends look braced,
Dang
for
it.
it if it violence.
Just hold your action.
Fine.
Not in his vocabulary.
I know.
But that's only
I
one
was gonna
attack.
say, if we wind up having to fight Gregorian, I want a big bonus, Glasya.
Alright. Sure. I can hold my action then. Unless I don't think there's really anything else I can do. I'll use my bonus action to cast. Oh no, I can't. I don't think. Does the Kusanagi Guardian of Nature count as concentration?
No, I don't think
It does
so.
not?
Because
Okay.
it has that special duration.
Okay, so if it doesn't, then I'm going to cast Healing Spirit on Harmony.
Okay.
And I will hold my action to do an attack when I can see Levistus, I guess.
Very good.
So. Alright. And I think that is it.
Then it's Byakko. Oh, you took his turn.
Yeah.
Thaddeus and Lulu.
Okay. Lulu is going to go up to the edge of the mist. And I don't know if this will work, but it's the only idea I have. She's going to use the Trumpet of Blasting
Okay.
to try and blow this mist away.
Great.
Let me look at the Trumpet of Blasting and see.
Yeah, because the trumpet action says it blows air through its trunk.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. And the range on the trumpet is
It is
a cone of
30-foot cone.
30-foot cone. Well, he's within that cone, so he will make a save. I just lost a dice.
Like
I don't
this
know where it went.
massive blow dryer.
That's a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Well, he had a 19 on the dice, so
Yeah.
he passed.
Okay, well, he's going to take. Boy, I rolled terrible for that. He's going to take half of 7 damage.
Okay.
But what I really wanted was for the mist to blow away.
Unfortunately, the mist almost seems to like be unaffected by any air that is blown out of her trumpet. It seems as if it is like mystically held in place.
Okay.
Mystically.
Mystically mist.
yeah.
Mystical mist.
And in reaction to being blasted by a trumpet, can Lulu make a dex saving throw?
Sure.
As shards of ice come flying out of the mist in her direction.
Yikes. Let's see here. Her dex is bad, I think. Yeah, it's worse than mine. 16.
All right, she takes 33 cold damage.
Oh, sorry. Nope. It's 19.
Still 33 cold damage.
Okay.
Anything for Thaddeus's turn? I assume there will be something.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff for Thaddeus' turn. Let's see. You said 33 cold damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just having to deal with Lulu's stuff as well. God,
I can track Lulu's HP
it
if
keeps
you want.
going away on me. Okay, there we go. Man, what do I do here? Sorry, I just have a lot of stuff
Um,
going on here.
Glasya, from where the position where she's basically like pulled aside one of the icy chairs and has like sat down cross-legged watching all of this, and she just shouts, "He's a master duelist! Be careful! Go team!"
Thanks, Glasya.
Love
Do I
her,
still-
I love her.
I've been hearing
I know.
Harmony say, "Stick close to me, stick close to me." Should I not go in and fight this guy? Probably not
Just-
yet, right?
Just wait until my turn, and then you can do
Okay.
whatever the fuck you want.
What's a useful thing to put up here? This isn't a concentration spell. I'll do it. I'm going to put Death Ward on myself.
Nice. That's a good
Good idea.
Sure.
good choice.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Then next up after Thaddeus is Harmony.
Great. Are Discord and them not in the initiative order?
They are dealing with
We're just gonna skip them
Gregorian.
because they're dealing.
So yeah, like they're shouting something to Gregorian, but things are going on with Levistus, so I haven't been telling you. But basically, the gist of it is Gregorian is shouting, "I came here to deal with Levistus. Together we can kill Gratz. Out of my way!" And Discord's like, "You can't get through. We need you to stay there. We have business
Discord
with Levistus." And it's just like they're arguing right now.
Discord is Batman tonight.
Swear to
My
me.
Batman voice.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Harmony's
all right.
turn.
I
What
was
would you like
just
to do?
making sure you didn't forget them because there's a precedent for that. All right.
Thanks.
You got your back. All right, I'm going to pull the blue feather that I got from Eli out of my bag and clasp it
Mhm.
between my hands. And I'm going to think about Eli, and I'm going to cast Wish and cast Holy Aura
Okay.
on you three, Byakko, Lulu, and Discord, and Passion, and Ambition. I think as long as they're all within a 30-foot radius, I can get everybody.
I think everybody is.
Are you counted in there?
Yes, I'm also
Okay.
count. Of course,
Okay.
myself. Of course, myself too.
Okay, good.
Let's see. I've never heard of this spell before, so I'm looking it up. Divine light washes out of you and coalesces in soft radiance in a 30-foot radius.
So basically, everybody is shedding dim light in a 5-foot radius around them. You guys all have advantage on all saving throws. All other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the spell ends. And when a fiend or an undead hits the affected creature with a melee attack, the aura flashes with brilliant light, and the attacker must succeed on a con saving throw or be blinded until the spell ends.
That's so good.
Can I have used my bonus? I didn't use my bonus action. Can I give my shield to Harmony?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And that is it for the first round of initiative, unless Harmony
No,
has other
it's
things she
not.
wants to do.
Because my turn's not over.
That's why I said
Thank
unless
very
you have
much.
other things you want to do. I said it.
Tides of Chaos was primed.
So it was.
So that's gonna happen. All right, where are my D10s? We'll do this one and harder to navigate them when I don't have them all sorted by type. Oh, there we go. There's one pair, and then here's another one. Chaka, 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 chaka. Oh, that is 5 or 47. Oh no.
That's what I want to hear when I'm within 30 feet of Harmony. Spider webs.
Spider
No,
web.
we'll take 47, please.
Okay. Yeah, basically this wind whips through the tunnel and into the chamber and basically finds a position at Harmony's back. And Harmony, you feel as if for, a little while longer, you can run faster than usual. Of note, though, the wind seems to channel such that it flows behind Harmony, but also a subsection of it breaks off and channels behind Discord.
Oh, interesting.
seeming to be pulled to him as well
Huh.
due to the connection in their magic.
Welcome, bro. And
I'd love to see a bad one go off. See what happens in Discord.
No.
I mean, Harmony almost turned into an
I
octopus,
almost,
so
yeah, I almost polymorphed
Octopus.
myself into an octopus. So that
I'm
almost
trying to
happened.
picture what that looks like.
Oh, she'd be like a
Discord's
little
what
baby
the
octopus,
hell?
one of the
No,
little
I
tiny
mean,
ones.
I mean,
I
all
mean,
of a
he's
sudden
used to it,
Discord is
though.
like,
I'm sure he's used to it. He has the
Okay.
same problem. And that's my turn.
okay. Then it is Levistus's turn.
Wait, so what's my bonus to AC now with the shield that you gave me?
+3.
+3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I need each of you to make another deception check.
Okay.
Oh, much better. 19.
Also 19.
I got 15 and Byako got 10.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Okie dokie. All of those are noted. You feel as if, despite the mist in the way, you are being watched. And I need to check something here. You hear the sounds of a spell being cast from somewhere in the mist. And it sounds like Levistus's voice.
I mean, hey,
Can we
counterspell doesn't
Hey.
say that you need to see the creature.
It does. I say that actually.
What? I mean, I'm looking at the card right now, and it says on the card, you attempt to interact a creature in the process of casting the spell.
Oh, you are correct.
Yeah, so I think you just need
Why
to be
did I
able to
think it was that?
perceive it casting a spell. And hearing it counts, I think, which is why I was looking if it had verbal components.
Yeah.
So do you want to counterspell it?
I'll do it.
Okay, what level?
Let's just do third.
Okay, then you're gonna need to roll.
Yas. 10 plus spells level, and I make the ability check with my spell casting ability. Okay, so this is just a +5 then. Oh no. I'm going to use Tides of Chaos.
Of course you are.
Please do.
I am embracing this Tides of Chaos. Wait, which one? Oh, let's use this one. It's not much better, but it's something. That is mass 13.
13. The spell goes off despite
can
your
try it.
attempt. Oh, do you want to try it?
Well, can I though? Because I'm already using my held action, right?
It would just remove your
Cancel
ability
my-
to use your held action.
Yeah, it would cancel your health action.
What do you think? Should I do it? I would also have to roll, but I could do it.
I mean, we don't know what he's casting, so.
Yeah. It's higher
It's
than
up to
third
you.
level, but we already knew that.
Yeah. Sure, let's give it a shot. All right, so I have to do.
Be a d20 plus your intelligence modifier.
Okay. Ah. I rolled a 2.
Oh no.
So that's a
Yeah.
4.
So both of your counter spells fire off into
Dang.
the mist, but seemingly the magic is unaffected. And Mara, can you make a Constitution saving throw? You have advantage because of Holy Aura? Does she?
Saving throw, yes. Advantage on saving throws.
And you have a +5 from Thaddeus.
Okay, and what kind of saving throw?
Constitution.
Constitution, which is all right. So that is a 17.
Did you get Thaddeus's +5?
Oh, so 22.
And advantage?
Yeah, I rolled an 8 on the other one.
Okay.
Ah,
All right. Unfortunately, 22 is not quite enough. Mara, as you're flying up in the air, you suddenly start to feel a little heavy. And those of you who are down on the ground looking up at Mara see ice beginning to form on her, and you
Oh,
are
no.
restrained as ice begins to creep up your body.
Oh, crap.
I think we were due for a night where we get completely fucked over. And this is it.
And then that rapier that's flying next to Harmony will stab again at Harmony. Nah, would it fly over to Lulu? It'll stab again at Harmony. But it's
Oh,
at
wait.
disadvantage. Ah! I don't have very much room to roll my
I can't
dice.
shield it. I used my fucking reaction.
Yeah.
With disadvantage, though, it's a natural 1.
Oh, great.
So this rapier just comes flying at you, and you have like the moment where you just kind of like duck under it, and it whoosh, goes flying.
Holding
off.
the feather like this.
Leora's paying off already.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Alrighty then. That is Levistus's turn. Then he has his lair actions immediately after, which is unfortunate. But the icy mist goes away.
And I can't shoot him.
That's right, because you used your reaction. Um,
But your turn's coming up, right?
It's coming up.
Anyway.
Yeah. Unless he does it again, then I'll be really upset.
but he can't do it again right away.
Okay.
He becomes visible as the mist kind of sinks to the floor.
Okay.
And you can see that he's holding his rapier basically pointed directly at Thaddeus. And he says, he says, "You will know the cold of Stygia." And you gain, well, you normally have resistance to cold. You are now non-resistant to cold damage.
Ooh,
Thanks.
dang.
Okay.
Until lair actions come up again. So for 1 round. Mara, it's your turn.
Okay. So
Oh,
I'm
fight, Lynn.
still flying, but I'm heavy.
You're restrained, which
I'm
means your speed
Okay.
becomes 0.
Okay, but I can still throw. Let's see, which one do I want to throw? I want to throw the wind one, I guess, because it comes back.
And you would have disadvantage on it. But advantage because of Holy Aura? Does Holy
No,
Aura?
no. Holy Aura doesn't give us advantage. It just imposes
Gotcha,
disadvantage.
gotcha.
Gives us advantage on saving throws.
Then yeah,
Okay.
you'd have disadvantage with the throw because of
Disadvantage.
restrained.
Also, never mind.
Okay. Well, so the lowest is 16. So the lowest is 27.
Ooh, that would strike into him. So the dagger pierces into Levistus's skin and just kind of like ice shards kind of fracture off of him.
Oh.
Yay!
Um,
Sneak attack! Sneak attack!
you do.
Yeah,
You
because
do.
Byako's there.
I am.
Sneak attack! Sneak attack! Sneak attack!
Right.
Right, Ethan? He tried to pull Levistus.
Yeah, I mean Byakko is there. I'm just trying to remember. I feel like there's a thing in sneak attack where if you
If
have
you don't have,
disadvantage.
yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, if you had disadvantage, it doesn't work.
But maybe I'm not remembering that right.
Let me
What-
look. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 10 d6. I've been still doing 9 to one creature you hit with an attack with a finesse or ranged weapon. If you have advantage on the attack roll, you don't need advantage on the attack roll.
No.
If another enemy of the target is within 5 feet.
And you don't
Or
have
the
disadvantage on the attack roll.
Ow.
Mm.
So yeah, you don't
So
get it.
unfortunately, no sneak attack.
Now you don't have
Dang.
disadvantage. And that's a bad
I'm hiding
yeah.
because I don't want to show my face to you guys.
Man.
It'd be really measly damage now.
Yeah, 1d4.
Don't worry.
Plus
Well,
your
well-
modifier.
So it's a whole 7.
Pew!
7 damage.
You're level
Okay.
19, you did 7 damage? Come on, Mara, what's going
Well-
on?
Right?
He has to
Should've
make
used-
a concentration check on the spell that's affecting him.
Oh,
so they should
yeah.
At least. But he passes. But he takes 7 damage nonetheless.
Nice job, Mara.
Woo!
Nice job, you did it!
Woohoo!
Oh, what does the wind do? Wind do anything else?
It comes back, right? I think that's it.
Yeah,
It's-
it does. That's it. That's why I used it, because it comes back.
It also has a longer range.
Okay. in reaction to being hit by your dagger, some of those icy shards that came off of him go flying back at you.
Oh,
Can you make a dexterity saving throw? I think restrained.
Advantage?
Hold
No.
on.
I don't get away though.
Add advantage.
But
It's
disadvantage
not an
because
OA.
of disadvantage because
Because
of
of restraint.
restrained. So regular.
Yeah.
Does she not have to roll for dex saving throws though?
I don't know.
I mean, really?
It's
Yeah.
a 21.
Don't forget the
It's not
plus
enough.
5.
Plus
No,
5,
plus
so
five.
26.
That is
26.
enough.
Ooh, nice
so-
call.
Thanks for the
Even-
reminder.
Freezing as you are with this ice forming on you, you are just dexterous enough to like roll out of the way as these ice shards go crashing into the side of the cave,
Nice.
missing you entirely because
Great.
of your roguish nature. And then at the end of your turn, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You still have a bonus action
Add advantage.
if you want to use it.
Doesn't she use a
Wait,
bonus action to call the
since I'm-
dagger back?
Not with
Since I'm-
Fujin, I don't think.
Oh.
Since I'm restrained though, how would that work?
You could
if I-
try and maybe
Okay.
can she like chip away at it with her off
Okay.
attack or something, or
Oh, the ice?
Yeah.
It seems to be like magically forming up her. Probably the only thing that could end this spell is
Breaking his
succeeding on
concentration.
saves
Time to
or breaking his
amputate.
concentration, things like that.
Oh, there's one other thing that can break a spell.
Anyways, what was
Killing
your
him.
what was your Constitution save?
Okay, so that is going to be a 20.
20. More ice creeps up you.
no?
Wait, did you roll at advantage and did you add Fatty's bonus?
I did not roll at advantage, but I did. Yeah, it's sting. It's a 20.
Okay. Ice continues to creep up you
Uh-oh.
and restrict your movement. Then it is
feel like
Mara's
Anna-
turn.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Not
it's a little
me.
bit like that scene. Mara, no,
I
that was
just
you.
went-
Now it's Zant.
Okay, I was like, it's Mara's turn again. I'm like,
I
get him, Mara,
backed
get him,
out.
do it again,
No,
7 more big
I-
ones.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right. You got a lot. You got a lot going on. Okay, so yeah, I guess since Levistus is visible, I will shoot at him. Byakko is also going to. I'm gonna have Byakko attack first, and then also use his reaction to attack when I attack. So Byakko. Let's see. That is a 25 to hit.
From Byakko.
Mhm.
Yeah, that hits.
Ooh, and he can make for me a DC 18 strength saving throw, be knocked prone.
Sure he can. Plus a bunch. 21.
Okay, well then he passes. But now Byakko will, I'll do the damage, and then Byakko will do his reaction when I attack. So I'll just do that real quick too, so I don't forget. That is 18 damage on the first one. And the next one, I don't think that's gonna hit. That's a 16 to hit, so he's.
No, that one goes clattering. It basically scrapes through some of like the silk clothes that he was wearing and just
Sure.
doesn't leave any scars on the harder than it should be skin.
Okay,
underneath.
well, I will fire some arrows. And yeah. Okay, that's a crit, so that's good.
Okay.
That's a 32 to hit on the next one,
Hits.
and a 33.
Also hits.
For the crit, I will use the bowstring.
Levistus, with this one, the arrow strikes into him,
Mhm.
but he kind of like twists in a very acrobatic, almost like he's like in a like complicated dance, and he uncannily dodges part of it.
Oh, great. But he has to make a DC 15 Dex saving throw or be petrified.
Oh, if only he were really good at dex save.
I know.
If only that were his best save.
I can
yeah,
only
he passes.
imagine. Dang. But it's still magic damage, and
Yep.
it's a crit. So I'm gonna take as much as I can get here. And I will also do a. Let's do a. goading attack on him to see if I can get that rapier off Harmony.
Okay.
And so he has to make a DC 20 Wisdom save.
Passes.
Okay. That is like way below average. All right, let's see here. 10. This is terrible. Wow. 13. 33. It's pretty bad.
3, and he halves that because of uncanny dodge.
Okay. And then I will do. Let's do one more goading attack on him, and I'll use.
Wait, can he uncanny dodge multiple attacks? I thought he already used that.
So I guess I will reveal the boss fight mechanic I'm testing now. Levistus has multiple reactions.
Oh, cool.
That was his second reaction this round.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about it being reaction. I was just thinking about it being a rogue skill that can only be used. But yeah, that makes sense.
And then this one is 25.
However, he hasn't been using legendary actions. That's what I'll point out.
Okay. 25 damage.
25 damage, and this was with a magic arrow?
Regular arrow.
Regular arrow. As you might expect, it seems as if he has some resistance to that.
Okay, so he halves it and halves it again, basically.
He didn't uncanny dodge the second one, only the crit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see how it is. Not good enough, huh? All right, that's fine. Then, and did he make a wisdom save for that one too?
He did not yet.
Okay.
He rolled really high.
Okay. And then the third one, I will use a magic arrow, and that is, oh my gosh, I've gotten so many ones. That's a 27 damage.
Okay. That one seems to do full damage against him.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, also add another 2. Force damage, I forgot I had to do that.
That damage goes into him as well. So this volley of arrows strikes into him. He manages to slightly dodge one, but the other 2 catch him full in the body.
Okay.
He does not seem happy about that. He kind of turns to you with a snarl and says, "It didn't have to be this way."
Harmony, you also got 5 HP last turn from the healing spirit.
Oh, right.
I forgot
Thank you.
about it. Do I feel like I can somehow disarm this rapier? Like, can I, like...
I mean, with your disarming attacks and things?
Yeah. Maybe?
Potentially.
Okay. For right now, I'm not going to use my bonus action, and I will end my turn.
Okay. Then it is Thaddeus.
I'm about to make Levistus really mad.
Great.
Lulu first is going to cast Cure Wounds on Harmony. Which
So Lulu
what is
flies back
Lulu,
to
you're the
Harmony.
best.
yeah. What's the
Thanks, Boo.
how much do you get? What's the dice roll on that?
If it's just base level, I think it's 2d8 plus her wisdom,
Okay.
Was it 1d?
or whatever her spell count.
No, it's 2d8, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
1d8 at the base level.
Oh, 1d8. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's
So take
okay.
10. And Lulu stands next to Harmony, extending her aura of invulnerability. So that,
Nice.
what I'm assuming is a spiritual weapon, better be pretty high level if it wants to affect her again.
Wait, what does the aura of invulnerability do?
An invisible aura forms a 10-foot radius sphere around the elephant for as long as it lives. Any spell of fifth level or lower cast from outside the barrier can't affect creatures or objects within it, even if the spell is cast using a higher spell slot.
So
Oh, shit.
I'll let you change what you want to do based on a bit of information, which is that this seems to be a physical rapier. Like he pulled it out and threw it into the air. It just seems to be magical enough that it is acting on his command, but it is a physical object. It's not like a spell.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
I'll
that
let you
might
change
still
what
be
you want to
useful.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. She may still stand here, just in case. Thaddeus, meanwhile, is going to fly up to Mara and end this stupid spell.
Okay. Remind me how your ability works.
You can use warrior action to end one spell on yourself or one willing creature that you touch 5 times per long rest.
Perfect. Then yeah.
No
you can just
save,
do it.
nothing happens, it just happens.
Is that the sword again? Man, that sword is so good.
No,
No,
that's just a
that's,
paladin
oh,
feature.
Oh, it's a paladin thing? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
It doesn't come
Uh,
up much, but when you're up
This
against a
is a-
spellcaster who only gets 1 spell per round and the rest of us are all piling on the damage, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's great.
Thank
So
you,
Mara,
Daddy.
you
Woo.
feel the
You're
ice
light
just
as
kind
a
of
feather.
fall off of you as this radiant wave of moonlight kind of bathes you. Cool. Anything else from Thaddeus or Lulu?
I'll just call out to Levistus. You can take away my strengths, but we can just easily take away yours.
You basically just elicit a snarl from him as he kind of bares fanged teeth that you can now see.
Actually, and if
And
I can,
Glasya claps and says, "Bravo! A beautiful sentiment."
if I can, I'd like to. Yeah, I'll try flying up next to him.
Okay. Yeah, you can fly up right up next to him. That's fine.
Nice.
Harmony.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. I've got my shield back, by the way. I'm not giving it back to you. I feel like I might need it in a minute.
Okay. I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is telekinesis when I use it from my ring a concentration spell?
Yes.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But it
then
doesn't
my
use a
second,
spell slot or anything like that.
right, okay, my second question doesn't matter then because I can't use it. Cool. Great, wonderful. I'm
I feel
going
like Holy
to.
Aura is doing work though, so you don't have to feel.
Yeah,
bad.
no. I just had a cool idea, but I can't use it because I'm concentrating on Holy Aura. So instead, we are going to, I guess I'm gonna kind of sidle a little bit. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna disengage. No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to
You're
leave
not.
this
I mean,
aura.
you're not in.
I'm not
You're
in the
not
threat
in
range
combat
for
with
the.
anyone. Oh, the rapier.
the
Yeah, you
rapier.
are. Mhm.
Yeah. So Lulu's aura is 10
10
feet.
feet. Yeah.
I'm really fast right now, but I kind of want to sit here for the aura. Anyway, okay, I'm just going to put the feather away and kind of look up at Levistus and say, I know you're kind of a cold guy, but let's turn up the heat a little bit. I'm going to cast Firebolt,
Okay.
which I get to roll for. What even is my attack bonus? Okay. Okay, so that's 33 to hit.
That will hit. Yes, it will. So he'll take that damage.
Yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4d10 fire damage. It's not really that great. Oh, but I get to ignore 1s. 1s or 2s. So that's exciting. So that's still not great. That's 12 fire damage, and I ignore resistance to fire.
Mm-hmm. Which seems like it makes a difference. I'm not sure how you would know that, but you do.
Just looks like it's burning as much as it should be burning.
Yep. But as you do that, sort of tracing back along the path that the firebolt took, he waves his rapier and shards of ice from the ground, just kind of like shrapnel from like fired from like a machine gun or something like that, just fly towards you. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Advantage.
Yep.
Do I still get Chinese bonus?
Yeah.
Or did he go away? He's still there.
Unless
Oh,
anyone goes
no.
pretty far away, I'm operating under the assumption everyone's within 30, just because it makes it easier.
Okay. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Luckily, you're resistant to ice damage or cold damage, so you only
Yes.
take 16 cold damage instead of 33.
Those are both going in jail. 16 cold damage. Oh,
Yep,
jeez.
and a concentration check is in
Yes, one thing at a time. Oh, did I take HP from the healing spirit on my turn?
Not this turn. You can
Not
take
this turn?
3 though.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you.
reminding me. You're welcome.
Yep. Okay, and then concentration check.
Only DC 10. Can you fail
Do
that?
I?
You've got a +5 from Thaddeus, and I don't know what your concentration thing is.
+9, so no.
Oh yeah,
You're good.
you can't fail.
Also,
this.
I was like, do I get advantage on concentration checks? But no, it's not.
It does count as a save, so you would.
So I would. Okay,
Yeah.
good, because that was really
good
bad.
enough.
I'm running out of D20s, you guys. Okay, that was good. Yeah, I rolled a 12 on die, so. Look, I don't think I've ever seen my jail this full, y'all.
Wow. Yeah.
Dang.
Looking like Levistus' prison right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Does anyone else, or sorry, Harmony, do you have anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Okay, in which case we'll catch up with Discord and Gregorian. It, for a little while, devolved into a bit of a shouting match where Discord was trying to intimidate Gregorian and get him to back off. And Gregorian was basically just shouting, "No, our only chance is to stand together against Gratz. We can't let this stand." And they're just kind of shouting at each other. But it got to a point where Gregorian was like, "If you're just gonna stand in my way, then I'll push you down into the ice," and he just like starts shouting all these like threats at Discord and group. And basically Ambition gets to a point where she rolls her eyes and says, "Fuck you," and she pulls out her great sword and just charges him. And
I love Ambition.
combat ensues between the two of them, or the two groups there. So they're basically battling in the entranceway to this cave, and you guys are battling against Levistus here. We don't have time to go a full round. Do you guys want me to take Levistus's turn and his lair actions now, or save
Sure.
fresh round of
Yeah,
combat?
take it now.
Yeah, might as
Yeah,
well.
this will make for a good cliffhanger because I feel a feeling bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I need each of you to make a deception check. Let me know
Deception.
how you do.
Gotta stop rolling off the table. 13.
15.
16 on Zant, 11 on I almost said Discord, Biako.
Okay.
15.
15. All noted. The rapier comes again. I'm just thinking, Lulu is there too. She's in tiny elephant form?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the rapier stabs at Lulu.
All right. It's got disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Good thing too. Let's see. With disadvantage, that puts it at rapier bonus. I should have it memorized by now. 24.
Hits.
So she takes
Wait, can she cast shield? No, she can't.
19 piercing damage
Mhm.
and 14 cold damage.
Does that count as a melee attack?
It does.
Then he's got to make a con saving throw.
Oh. 23.
That's the DC.
Okay. Does anything happen on a success?
Nope.
Okay.
He's not blinded.
It would be
Well,
the
that's
rapier
probably
though,
a good
right?
thing.
Not him?
Huh?
Would it be the
Um,
rapier
I
that's
don't know if
blinded?
it would be
So
Oh, okay.
it's
him or the
a little
rapier.
bit
That's unclear.
nebulous, but I would say that for this, he's making the save.
Okay.
Because the rapier is just an ability of his. So
Mhm.
All right.
I really should have had Lulu take her giant form because she's gone now.
Oh no.
she kind of pops in a like flurry of sparkling confetti. And as she does so, she just says, "Bye, see you guys later."
Thanks, Lulu.
Bye.
Yeah.
And then
I wonder.
I thought that she wouldn't fit through the tunnels in her giant form, so.
she probably wouldn't have.
Sorry.
Let me see something.
But the room was big.
And then Thaddeus, you are next to Levistus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. You've proven that he should not use his spell casting, so I guess he will rapier you. So he has disadvantage on these,
Yep.
which is good for you because the first one's only a 22.
I can shield that, and I will.
The second one, however, with disadvantage is a 30.
Okay, so that hits.
He has to make a con save.
He
Yep.
does.
Dice falling off the table. Oh, that's not very good. Not very good. It's only 14.
He's blinded.
Okay. Well, that would be because he hit, so it doesn't affect this at all.
Yeah.
And how long does the blind last?
Until the end of my spell.
Oh, sweet.
It's a good spell.
As that effect takes hold, like he seems to close his eyelids. And he takes that position where it looks like he's listening closely. Who knows what that means for you, but anyways, resolving a rapier that pierces through your armor, Thaddeus, you take, including his sneak attack, which he gets because you did not pass the deception check. Where did it go? Where is his sneak?
Why didn't any of us take the deception skill?
Yeah, none of us have it.
So that is, oh, there it is. 54 points of piercing damage and 14 cold, which you did not resist.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and then I need to see if that ability recharges. It does not.
Fortunately, I'm not concentrating on anything that matters.
And then he... okay, that's the end of his turn proper. It looks like you see a... Oh, wait, no, but never mind. That doesn't happen. His turn ends, and he just basically in his position where he's got his eyes closed and he's listening carefully, he just says to the group of you, fine, drown. And the room begins to fill with water from the ground to the ceiling as his next lair action takes effect, and this becomes an underwater arena for a turn. As it just fills with icy cold water. And before we end, there's a little bit of a side effect with this icy cold Stygian water. Everyone needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
At advantage.
At advantage.
With my bonus, +5. 23.
Okay.
28.
Okay.
24.
33 on Zant and a 30 on Byakko.
So Zant, Byakko, and Harmony pass. As this chamber fills with icy water, and the icy water kind of like lifts the group of you up a little bit before you kind of like get your equilibrium in it. It is the coldest water you have ever been in. Oh, I'm sorry. I just noticed something else. Those with resistance to cold should have had advantage.
We had
all
advantage
have.
anyway.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well then never mind. Those of you who failed, so Thaddeus, Mara, and was that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Feel yourselves become sort of sluggish as a wave of lethargy sort of washes over you, and you are under the effects similar to the slow spell for this round. And as you begin to feel this wave of sluggishness take hold of you, and it becomes the party's turn to act, we will cut off this episode and pick up there next week, I think.
Cool.
The one other thing I will say that happens, none of you are necessarily aware of this since your chamber just filled with water magically, but for cinematic effect, a shadow darkens the tunnel as another creature is headed this way.
Oh, jeez.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Where's all of Glasya's followers? Are they just gone now, or?
They kind of
No, I
split
thought
off
we had
dealing
one.
with traps and monsters and things on your way.
Uh-huh.
Such that when you reached the chamber, it was just your group, Discord's group, and Glasya.
I see.
Convenient.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you
Yeah.
guys for playing. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more of this Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time to see what happens with Levistus.
I
So,
can't
Yeah.
wait.
they're only just getting started.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.